Hello everybody, Aaron here, and welcome to the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. This game came out 3 days ago. Came out on the 27th, 4/27/22. But it is a reimagining of a game from 2013. Um, it's one that I feel like a lot of people know about, but at the same time, it's like one that's just kind of known in pop culture. And I thought it'd be cool to pick this up and give it a try as part of the Clearing the Backlog series. So, um, let's begin the game.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
All right, so this game is interesting because you have a narrator constantly talking about what you're doing, and kind of telling you what to do. So if I hang out here long enough, you'll probably get after me for not leaving my office, but where is everyone?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Perhaps he simply missed a memo. How could that happen? It's a big office.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
You're correct. It's a very comedy-filled game.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
The door on my left, eh? I guess we'll listen to you, Mr. Narrator. Okay, meeting room.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Let it ball up inside you. Take it out passive-aggressively on other coworkers. Resent coworkers for not supporting you more. Using slides to assure employees that everything is okay. Well, everything obviously is not okay. Room closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Oh yeah? Did he? The ambience,
There
I
was
guess
nothing
ambiance.
here. No choice to make, no path to follow,
Is
just an empty
really
broom
cool.
closet.
Cause like
No reason to still be here.
it's like you're just standing in this room that logically makes sense to have the noise in it, and
It was
it's there.
baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Okay, fine. We'll move along.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
To be rich, is it a crime to commit crimes? Isn't it rich? What a life it would be to have to pick just one. Okay then. Mr. Boss,
Stepping
sir.
into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Oh yeah?
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
What in the... Just the Half-Life vibes. Loading.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar.
You don't say.
It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Oh yeah? Okay then.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
But there's a thing that says escape. Oh, whatever. I'll follow the narrator.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Oh my gosh.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
427. That would be Stanley right there. Just gonna show my office? Yep.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Probably. Sounds like something that would happen.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It
Usually.
was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent
debatably.
his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
I mean, it already looks like everything's offline. It looks like we should just be able to, whoa, button number. I don't know. Is there buttons all around the room? Is that what we're doing here? But everything's offline. Why would it matter at that point? What button are you? You're button number 1. A little too far away. Was it 3 over here? I think it was 3 over here. Where's 4 then? You 4? No. It's disabled console. It's 5. So 1, 2, 3. I only know where 4 of them are, and I don't know where the number 4 is. I keep wanting to, like, jump over things, and there's no jump, apparently. I mean, where does the facility power lead?
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
But how did he know? I mean, sure, but... Okay. Now what?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
So, that's what happens if you just follow the narrator. This game is known for having lots of endings. So I figured I'd just walk through the first one. And now we'll just kind of mess around and
all of his
see what we can break.
Gone. What could it mean?
It could
Stanley
mean that
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed
things
a
are
memo.
crazy. Let's try not listening to the narrator.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Sure, admire the employee lounge. Look at that.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Sure.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I don't think so. I think I'm gonna go forward. What in the...
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
What did this lead to? Potential for misuse of cargo lift, $1,000 or penalty. Penalty for jumping off the cargo lift, $5,000. I mean, I think it's the only way I can go, so.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
For her? Who's her?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life.
Who's her?
She's been waiting.
Who's her? I don't even know who her is. Into darkness.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Hello? Who is this?
Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife?
I mean, I
Who'd
could
want to
hope.
commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Press N on your keyboard. But no. No. Fine.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Have I? Have I really chosen this life? Should I continue pressing the buttons? It seems like a bad decision. What do you think, mannequin? Buttons? Or no buttons? What happens if I don't press it? Something's bound to happen if I don't press this, right? Saying it so nicely, just please press H. Fine, be that way.
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Press G to watch TV.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth.
Oh, yeah?
The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and
So
that
you're
he
saying
could
this
go
is
through
all
either.
in my imagination,
At
eh,
last,
narrator?
choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
And prepare dinner.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Wait, are you seriously breaking the fourth wall right now? Age to tell your kids a story.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Okay.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
But I shouldn't press it, right? No, you can't make me press it. I mean, you can, but okay, fine.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself?
What?
How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
I mean, question nothing.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must.
Is that so?
Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
What in the... Well, okay then.
All
I
of
think
his
let's do
co-workers were
one more
gone.
round.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Trying to decide what I want to do for this round. I know we saw that escape
When
down that
Stanley
hallway.
came
I'm
to a set of
curious
2
about
open
this.
doors. This was not the correct way
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Employee lounge.
Yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
I mean, I could. Going down. Narrator's not gonna be happy about this.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
But is the left
Oh,
one?
no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Um,
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking?
I don't know.
It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
just rustling of papers.
Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right? Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Okay. This doesn't look right, but sure. I feel like I've been here before.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Looks like we just confused the narrator. Wasn't expecting that. That was a really short one. Let's do one more. Just one more, because I'm curious about the... Yeah.
What could it mean?
Curious about the,
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed
the
a memo.
escape room. Like, direction to escape at one point. So I'll follow his directions.
Wait, what?
Wait.
No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted.
Maybe not.
Game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors?
Nope.
Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story.
Yeah, you would
It
be.
was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere.
Is it?
Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Well, it looks like I can go in any direction now. Other than back, obviously. This door intrigues me. Are just all the doors open? Inner guilt. Everyone knows what you did. You're just holding back to let you torture yourself. Jeez, man. What'd I do? Oh.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again?
I don't think so.
I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
But I was walking around in circles. Come on, man. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Did he? Because I have my doubts now.
Okay, yep, it's worse.
It's worse.
I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Okay. Oh, there's spilt coffee. I don't see how we could have missed anything.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The
But-
story. Here it comes.
It's getting very dark in here, sir.
No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Okay. What in the...
Now this... Well, I'll be honest. I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
That's the way of doing
I
that.
know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off. So, good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart. All right.
The Stanley
I've got a
Parable
solution.
Adventure line.
This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
How directly do I need to follow this line? This doesn't look right.
You see, the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
That's so. I don't know if that lightened the mood, but okay. That's some music there. This is like...
Wait, cut the music.
Yeah.
Go back and look at that fern.
At the fern?
Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story.
Is that so?
Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Fern. Whatever. I'm not gonna remember that.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Okay.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
That adds up. Well, what now, dude?
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious.
I mean, we could.
Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
What direction? What door just opened? Oh, this door. Where does this lead?
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination.
We're walking around in circles.
Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Okay. Just ignore the line, although we are walking the same direction as the line. Line's done some crazy things. Hello.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control.
I mean, yeah, that's how stories
we
work.
mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere.
Obviously.
Which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here.
Yeah,
And
that
in
logically
turn
makes sense.
means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going?
Who knows?
And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny.
Why does that just remind me of like Princess Bride or something? Confusion ending.
Hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped?
Yeah,
Does
yes,
that
it
mean,
did.
Did we do it? Did we break the cycle?
Apparently.
Whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen?
I don't know.
Okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination.
True.
So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually.
Probably.
Well, in the meantime, if you...
Did it just restart on its own? Yep.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Yep.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Yep.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Oh, I can take my time? Cool. Awesome. Wonderful. Okay. So are we actually out of that loop? I can't tell.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
No, I didn't. There's a letter here. Interesting.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
That
Why
is
did
a strange
doors
observation.
close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar.
Yeah.
Were they simply repeating?
Yes.
No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it.
Like what?
I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all.
That's so.
And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head.
What?
One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner.
How?
Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought.
That's mind-bending.
And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself?
Probably.
Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley.
Yeah, I imagine it would be.
After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just...
I feel like this is getting praised.
He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one.
But did he, though?
Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
See, I don't know if I believe you, Stanley. Oh.
Stanley began screaming.
Yep.
Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
I like this everything goes black thing.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like.
Oh,
and
yeah?
in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and
Do you?
what isn't.
Do you, Mariella?
It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better.
That's disturbing.
Then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career.
Okay,
and by
that's fair.
extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Well, okay then. I think that's gonna do it for this kind of look at Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. I think back a long time ago I played this, and I think I only ever did one rotation through, and maybe only the ending, the first ending I showed. This has been cool. One of the things that made me think of is this kind of spawned these kind of comedy-esque games. It reminds me of like There Is No Game or Dude Stop or something like that, where that all kind of probably to some degree spawned from this idea. And it's just cool that this is kind of a genre-defining game that has been around for nearly a decade. But I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please let me know, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.